Hi, everybody. Reverend Tony here with a spiritual challenge for the month of January 2023 on the theme of finding your center. As we begin this new year, my spiritual challenge to my congregations is to make a covenant with yourself around your deepest, most important, most sacred values. One way you could approach this challenge is to try and name concisely your most important, most core values. Short phrases are good, short sentences are good. Maybe even one word would be great. Fairness, justice, fair play, loyalty, connection, courage, being brave. However you want to name your most core values, try and get that naming down to one word, small phrase, very short sentence. And then make a covenant with yourself around how you might better approach keeping that value central to yourself. For example, if I value family as one of my core values, I will covenant with myself to make sure I call my brother and my mom and my son at least once a week to stay in touch conversationally with them, not just through email and not just through the postal mail. To perhaps make arrangements to go visit them in person once a month. That would be how I would covenant with myself around my core value of family. So match each of your core values with a covenant with yourself about what that looks like when you live out that value. Here's another example. I value myself. I make a covenant with myself to never allow strangers or family or friends or anyone treat me disrespectfully or deny my full humanity or abuse me verbally, physically, or in any way, because I value myself. I value democracy. I covenant with myself to vote in every election, local, state, national, attend my monthly town meeting, volunteer once a week at the food bank, take part in my congregation's initiative to register voters and UU the vote, perhaps even join a political party's local town committee to campaign for candidates of my choice whenever I have the opportunity and however I might fit that into my schedule, because I value democracy and I need to take part in making sure it remains healthy. This challenge stems from the Unitarian Universalist Association's work on its periodic assessment of Article 2 of its bylaws, where we find what we call the Unitarian Universalist principles and purposes. Most people who are familiar with Unitarian Universalism know the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism. What a lot of people may not know is that our bylaws call for a periodic review of these every 15 years. And the most current review, submitted by the Article 2 Review Committee to the Unitarian Universalist Board of Directors, contains a bit of a different approach. It is about naming love as a central value and naming other values and then stating covenants about how those values will be upheld. Check this out. What they've done this time is they're moving away from just a list of 7 principles to a set of values and covenants that demonstrate what that value looks like when it's put into practice. So the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism, which most of us are familiar, are the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregations and society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. What the current proposal is to replace that with a set of values centered on love. Love is the enduring force that holds us together. As Unitarian Universalists and religious community, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist each other in engaging our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom and reason, hope and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love inspires and powers the passion with which we embody our values. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are pluralism, independence, equity, generosity, justice, evolution, centered around love. And for each value, there's a statement of covenant, promises we make to each other about how we will put this into practice, what this looks like when we live it out in our work and life and ministry with each other. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all people thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression within individuals and our institutions. We are accountable to each other for this work. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely share our faith, presence, and resources. Compassionate generosity connects us to one another in relationships of mutuality. Evolution. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Evolution is fundamental to life and to our Unitarian Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, theology, and experience. We covenant to learn from one another and openly explore the depth and breadth of our many wisdoms. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain a fully inclusive and accessible community of communities. Interdependence. We honor the sacred interdependent web of all existence. With humility, we understand our place in the web. We covenant to care for it and respect the earth and all beings by fostering relationships of mutuality. We work to repair the bonds we have broken. My challenge is for you to take this model the Article 2 Commission is using about naming a value and then matching it with a covenant and apply it to your own life with your own values and a covenant you make with yourself. As always, I'd love to know how you're doing with this spiritual challenge. What are your values? What promises, covenants are you making with yourself about how to live them out and put them into practice? Please be in touch. I love hearing from you. Until next time, as always, go in peace, Holy Ones. If you enjoyed this month's spiritual challenge video, please like this video and share it with others. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and please leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you think about this month's spiritual challenge. Check out my website and blog at tonylorenzen.com for even more resources that will open your mind, touch your heart, and inspire your spirit.